All right, I'm gonna do a video here on a bit of a continuation over a video I made quite a while ago, and we are going to go over the cognitive distortions. What are those? Well, they are not good. So, but you know, look, I will dive a lot more into a lot of this stuff in depth, but for this video, how do we do this? Holding the camera with one hand, got a book in the other. How do you open the pages? Well, maybe like this. Sit down, maybe? Let's sit down. Let's try it. Okay. Indian style. We're in class. All right. Now, you have probably seen the video. It's world renowned. I think it's got about 100 views on it. So lots of action there. So this is what it is. There's a book called Feeling Good by Dr. David Burns. Everybody in the world should have that book. But we are focusing a bit more on the people that have depression today. Now, did I ever go to a doc and he said, hey, you got depression? No. Look, if you're ever feeling like shit, you probably got it. Varying degrees of it. Where is it in this book? This book is called Self-Esteem. And in another video I made, you may have seen that I believe the real pandemic is lack of self-esteem. And that is an entirely different topic, which we will not go over. My God, did he prepare for this video? He didn't. Where is it? Oh, where is it? In this book. And this is what makes these videos so great, is how raw they are. Cognitive distortions, page 68, 68, 68. All right, we're gonna go over these. These are huge. These are huge. So, what cognitive behavioral therapy proposes is that a thought creates an emotion, and an emotion creates a feeling. So if you have a faulty thought or a, let's say, bullying thought, no different than somebody saying some really mean shit to you, but it's in your head. Now, you don't know exactly a lot of the times what's being said, you just know you feel like shit because there's a circuitry that's just running up there, just on autopilot. So cognitive behavioral therapy says, hey, if we can rewrite that thought in a more rational way, then that emotion that you're feeling is going to be diffused a lot of the times all the way. If not, it takes 50, 80, 90% of the steam out of it and you feel better. And that's what we want. We want something sustainable. We want something that is digestible, palatable, something very easy to understand, and cognitive behavioral therapy is just about as easy as it gets. So, the distortions. Overgeneralization. Overgeneralizations create a shrinking universe in which more and more absolute laws make life more and more confining. It is a universe in which the scientific method is turned upside down. Instead of observing all available data, formulating a law that explains all the data, and then testing the law, you take one factor event, make a general rule out of it, and never test the rule. So, all people that have cock and balls are like this. All people that have vaginas are like this. All people that wear a cross are like this. All people with this skin color are like this, right? So overgeneralization is navigating the world in that way. Very dangerous way to navigate it. So people observe people's behavior, not those other things that put them in buckets. So behavior will be a good way to navigate the world, I say. That's another tangent. We're not going into it. We're just going over these distortions. We're going over, these are landmines. These are things that some fucked up thought in your head is coming from one of these. It's seeing you, it's seeing the world, it's seeing something, an event, something you did, something you said, and it's, seeing it in a very distorted lens. So the cognitive distortions are like having distorted lenses, right? Like driving with a super dirty windshield, And that's how you're navigating life. And no wonder you're seeing shit all fucked up. And no wonder you feel all fucked up. Again, if we can catch what's going on, it's going to fit into one of these that I'm going over. And then cognitive behavioral therapy lets you rewrite it, what's going on, to see it more balanced. So that's that one. Number 2, global labeling is the application of stereotype labels to whole classes of people, things, behaviors, and experiences. People who practice global labeling live in a universe populated by stock characters who act out unrealistic melodramas. Global leaders with low self-esteem often cast themselves in the role of villain or the simpleton. The thinking style is closely allied with overgeneralization, but the distortion takes the form of a label instead of a rule. Global labeling is even more deadly in the way it creates stereotypes and cuts you off from the true variety of life. Did I mix those two up? He said they're very close. Not a doctor here, but those two are close. Okay, filtering. Filtering is like what it sounds like. So say you do 98% of your job really fucking well. Filtering is finding the 2% of the parts that you fuck up and just zooming in on them. So that's filtering. Now that can be you like at your job. It could be you as a civilian walking around. It could be you as a husband, as a boyfriend, as a friend, as a point guard, as whatever, like whatever your role is, whatever it is, filtering is it's going to hone in on what I said. You know, let's say the 2% of times you mess up or something and blow them out of proportion. Now, of course, that's going to make you feel like shit, because how is that fair? If you're, you know, and I use 98 too as an example, but you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, it's not. This isn't about getting away with like stuff. It's just seeing stuff more balanced, feeling more balanced. You know, and depression is seeing shit way fucked up. That's why you feel all fucked up. So, filtering. Polarized thinking. If you habitually indulge in polarized thinking, you live in a black and white universe with no colors or shades of gray. You divide all your actions and experiences in either dichotomies according to the absolute standards. You judge yourself as either a saint or sinner, a good guy or a bad guy, a success or a failure, a hero or a villain, a noble or a bastard. So, again, just like a light switch, on or off, like he said, you see stuff like that. So, you know, when you're doing good, you'll feel all right. But man, you know, it's like the reason this one's super fucked up is like when he says hero or villain, noble or bastard, success or failure, it's just like one bin or the other. So it's like, might as well get your money's worth. You know, if your mind's gonna be all fucked up and be like, you're a failure off some little shit. So like, is Hitler a failure too? You know what I mean? Like, so you can just get all, like, if you do one tiny little thing wrong, you're a failure. But then if you do a lot of things really, really wrong, failure. It's like, you see how there's not like ranks, you know, your mind's not like fair to you. Like, hey, that was failure level 1, subscript 1, subscript A, subscript fucking doesn't matter, you know? It's not gentle with you. It's just like, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking failure, you know? And you're like, whoa, that feels like shit to be these words. I didn't really do anything that bad. That wasn't that bad of a mess up, but a lot of us grew up and we were just talked to like that for spilling a drink on the floor or something, right? And deep down you feel like shit, and then your mind's all fucking circuited to navigate life like this. So self-blame is a distorted thinking style that has you blaming yourself for everything, whether you're actually at fault or not. Woo, that one. Personalization. In a personalized universe, you are the universe. Every atom in it is somehow related to you. All events properly decoded seem to have something to do with you. I struggle with that one a lot. Really just taking on everything that's happening around and being like, oh, it must be me. Must be me, you know? Must be me, you know? It's like, I wouldn't want somebody to think like that when sometimes I get home, I just want to get into my fucking apartment. I was like walking down the hallway, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking tired and hungry and like, I just want to get to my place and just take care of myself. What if somebody walks by and I'm not all fucking jolly and they're like, oh man, he must want to be paying attention to me because it's me. It's like, oh my God. So that's what personalization is. Mind reading. Mind reading is what it sounds like. It's a distorted thinking style that assumes that everyone in the universe is just like you. That's not what I thought he was going to say. Anyway, it's an easy mistake to make since it's based on the phenomenon of projection. You assume that others feel the way you do, basing your assumption on a belief in a commonality of human nature and experience that may or may not actually exist. A lot of these, of course, it keeps going on, but I'm just reading like the first sentence or two. Mind reading, you know, you start to think people are feeling a certain way about you without actually finding out. Control fallacies. Either put you in charge of the whole universe or put everyone but you in charge. Again, over control, under control, you know, over control is fucking stressful. Under control is fucking limiting and disempowering, and, you know, so seeing control in a more balanced light. And then emotional reasoning. This one's huge. An emotional universe is chaotic, governed by changeable feelings instead of rational laws. The distortion in this thinking style is to avoid or discount your thinking altogether. You rely instead on emotions, oh, that burp, to interpret reality and direct action. So it's the whole, like, if I'm feeling this way, I must be that way. If I'm feeling this way, my life must be that. You know, a lot of times just you slept like shit. A lot of times you're just hungry and you need to eat lunch. Then you eat and you feel like 80% better. But yeah, so I just wanted to zip through that. I'll make other videos, and I'm going to spend more time on each one and share personal experiences. Cognitive behavioral therapy has done a wonder for me. I fell on it, I think, 7 years ago. 6, 7 years ago. Still got to do it. But yeah, that's it for now.